Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first Team Wars talks that we will be having in the playoffs, starting with the round one. I'll be your host for this podcast, and I'm joined here today by Mystic and radlup. Hello, guys. Hope you've been doing well.
Well, it's
Oh,
been an exciting week in Team Wars so far. Excited to talk about it.
Mm,
yeah, same for me.
yeah, definitely. We've had some pretty interesting matches in the round one. And yeah, I guess we can just get straight into it with the match reports. So actually, before we do that, we are seeing inside the title of the stream that we have two commands. We have raid, which you can use to have the referral link to the Raid Shadow Legends game. It's an awesome game, and if you download using that referral link, you support Timors directly. So if you didn't install it yet, go ahead and make sure you do that. As well as YouTube for the second one, which we will be posting every single video, including these very Timor talks, on there starting around this time. So no more Twitch, only YouTube. With that aside, let's get into the match report. So first off, we will be having the very first match of round one, Lost Tribe against Switcheroo. I actually did have the pleasure and the pleasure to stream that one, so I know exactly how that went. There's a couple of pretty interesting moments there, as we can all see Misaka and Sov really just being a two-man team against Lost Tribe. Um, so the at the end of that stream, right? Taha came in and tried to justify a bit the insane amount of onomats, right? Because he thought that it would be a meta call to play a lot more onomats because it counters harpies or something like that. Didn't quite don't quite remember how it was exactly, but um, well, after they got rid of the harpies, just switcher sending in a trimids and making quick work of whatever was left, including the Lunas and Yosenjus. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
If
they
you don't
really
play
trusted.
Python Mat, you don't understand the format.
Mm.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, they really trusted in Lamar, but didn't pay off.
Mm. Cause like,
Also, David time limit loss was kinda important in this match since he had probably game that match.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that time limit loss as well really costed. But still, there were a couple other moments that Taha did mention in that interview, and mentioned in total like three misplays that it could have adjusted. I believe one is was in Davida's game, one in Zenith's, and one in Pelusia's game. But still, try it. 6-0, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess they weren't prepared for the try mid end of the day. It kind of
Mm,
just swept them. It was really surprising because I thought it would be a lot closer going into it, but
definitely.
unfortunately for them,
Yeah. I
it was
guess
unfortunate.
one of the highlights was like the automats, I guess, destroying Fire Kings twice in a row. But
Yeah,
other than that, like the other two wins still with automats against harpies there. I don't think there's much else to say, unfortunately, for this match, because I mean, 10
yeah.
and 4, pretty rough um,
So
exit for
LT had
Lost
a
Tribe.
really good Yeah, LT had a really good regular season run, so hopefully we'll see them back next season in the playoffs, and maybe they can make something more of their run.
Yeah, they really did
Because
pretty well in the
I
regular
believe
season.
this is their first season in the playoffs, right?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Last season they finished 5-5.
Yeah, so it should be exciting. And of course, Switcheroo is the reigning champion, so nothing less to expect from them.
Mm. There's no shame in losing to the defending champions.
Yeah,
Yeah, so with
I
that
think
out
we've
of the
been
way, maybe we can move on to the next. Unless you guys have
yeah.
any other thoughts.
No, nothing else really. It was a tough match.
Alright, let's check out Pharaohs against Tier 0. This was another pretty exciting match. Well, like every other match in the playoffs, right? Pharaohs, Tier 0, two teams that actually have a lot of fans as well. And it was a lot more closer than the previous match. We've seen
Hmm.
early on Pharaohs taking a slight lead thanks to a time limit win as well against Tuni, with Tier 0 trying to climb back. And indeed, they climb back using Mezarike and -1 there. So we see a couple highlights, I suppose, in the form of Allured by Darkness, used by both teams actually.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, can we talk about that Mystic? Because I believe you are the most competitive one out of this group. Sorry, Redlup. Sorry, Hazy. No, just joking. But yeah, is this pretty much the only play to play Thunder Dragons nowadays, using Allured by Darkness?
Well, actually, you have another ways to play it with it. Alluded is only one of them. Like you can play Destin Draw with more with Yugi or even that Dross and Spawn Trap
Hmm.
running like one sarcophagus, one charge.
Oh yeah, I actually did
But
see that
yeah,
variant.
they opted to play Alluded.
I've
Hmm.
also seen some running like draw sense spell and trap, so they kind of bluff the alert by darkness or something like that. Or was it draw sense dark? I don't remember. Or
I
maybe I'm just
believe all
misremembering.
three skills are available on Yubel.
Yeah,
Uh,
so they kind of use it so they can bluff. So people don't know like how much life points they have to avoid dealing
yeah,
sometimes,
you can bait the skill, yes.
which is really nice in Team Wars since it's like kind of a best of one format. At least your first duel is, so you can really catch people off guard on a counter pick.
Definitely. Because Kubio came in and destroyed the Onomat. Onomat, it was terrific playing, right? And probably didn't know what skill was there, because could have been pretty much anything, unless they, previously studied what Kubio's previous decks were.
Yeah,
But yeah, pretty cool to see that from both teams actually. But at the end of the day, Tier 0, I believe, was the favorite going into that one. Not just
yeah,
by general the general audience, but also from the predictions, I believe. So
yeah. So I mean, it was a close one, but Tier Zero does have the upper hand there, so they'll be moving on.
yeah, up against Abusement Park actually. We will check that out later as well. Let's see the next match report, which will be uh, SGL against SEM. Another match actually did watch, and was very impressive actually to see the very beginning of the match already being in favor of SGL. Zemo having an insane starting streak against a Mirror, Thunder Dragons, and double Fire Kings. They had to
Yeah,
send
Zemo
in
really played well.
once, yeah, exactly, and they had to send in another Fire King to really ultimately deal with that. And I guess the rest is history. Just once again allured by darkness, taking very crucial wins against Harpies, and with some slight, attempts to fight back from SCM with 3 Harpy wins. Still, once again, Thunder Dragons being the deciding factor in their win with Destiny Draw this time. So, alluding to what Mystic mentioned earlier, being a lot of ways to play this deck. Hmm. Balanced Trimids as well, getting a win. What
Yeah,
other highlights would be there?
it was a good match for Shadow Game Links overall.
Yeah.
Um, Especially coming off of their last match where they went
Uh,
like in week 10 they really kind of just got obliterated. They lost
yeah.
like 10-2 or 10-3 or something. So it was a really good bounce back for them. They put a lot of prep in and it clearly paid off for them.
Right. But yeah, as Jusos actually mentions in the chat, I did notice quite a lot of misplays on both sides. I believe as early as the third duel. I'm not extremely sure, but it was very early on. But in the end, still, SGL managed to clinch the win and advance further in their first season of playoffs, right? Because they're a new team, first
Yeah.
season already making playoffs. That's very good for them.
Pretty good first season.
Yeah, that's usually the goal you have if you think you're a good team, right? To make playoffs. Let's see the
Yes.
last match. Hopefully, we didn't go too fast into them. But
No,
yeah,
yeah.
we have the last one, Sensei against Sun Clan. I
Oh,
actually wasn't around for this one, so
I
maybe
was
one.
around for this one.
Okay,
This
Yeah,
Red
was
Love.
this was the highlight match. You can tell just by looking at the report. You can see
indeed.
how it
I
went.
I
Like
made
I mean, it was 8-3 for Sensei, right? I think yeah, 8-3, and everybody
yeah
thought that it was over. But then Medina comes out with the Harpies, just like how Zemo started off their match. Medina closes it off, going 7-0
Minato.
with the Harpies. I'm not Minato, my bad.
yeah.
Um,
I mean I don't
yeah,
know maybe.
sorry. But yeah, he goes 7-0, and it was really nobody expected that to happen. I remember people in Twitch chat were going crazy. Even in general chat, I remember there were some people talking about it, talking about the next matches already, Sensei versus whoever was next, because nobody really thought Sun Clan would bounce back. It looked like it was over, but Minato really clutched it out. It was really
Yeah,
crazy.
I made the report for this one, and even me, I thought it was over, but Minato came with his harps and just 7-0 them.
Yeah, that's something really. 7-0 after being down
Yeah,
8-3, just reverse sweeping pretty much what was deemed to be a lost match from the side of Sun Clan. And
Yeah,
once again, we're talking about a new team, Sensei. You know, these young teams trying to make a name for themselves in Team Wars and in other leagues as well. Just seemingly they thought they could take down a titan like Sun Clan that has been around since season 1, and they are even past champions, right? Because they won in season 3. And then
yeah,
Minato, nope, just says
yeah.
no.
Honestly, but it really looked like it was over. Because I mean, Sensei and SGL, those are the only two new teams to the league that have made it to playoffs. So everyone was thinking Sensei would be able to follow up what SGL did and make it to the next round. But unfortunately for them, they did end up falling to the Harpies.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a really exciting match overall.
Definitely. I believe this is the first match out of the 4 in which we have seen, for example, Mitre and Alicorn playing the Sea Serpent slash Water Xyz deck. Just
Yeah,
probably preparation paying off, just like from the side of SunClan with TGs from the side of Yasser early on.
yeah. GGs were really exciting to see. Unfortunately, they could only get one win. But I've noticed that's really what TG does a lot. They kind of just get like one guaranteed win and then they're out.
Mm.
yeah,
At least
yeah.
that's what I've seen in the match report so far. But yeah, that was a really crazy match. It was fun to watch. We'll see what Sun Clan can bring to us in the future week. It should be really exciting.
Yeah. And do we have anything else to say about the match reports?
No, I think
Not
that's
from my
all.
side. Yeah, that's all I guess.
All right, then yeah, we can move on to the next topic. Before I do that, though, once again, I can remind everyone that everything about these matches will be on YouTube, so make sure to check that out. You have the command in the title, and to check once again these match reports, you can head over to the Discord server and go into the channel match reports to see more in depth what we also just discussed, and not just these, but all the matches that we have had in this season thus far. Okay, we can move on actually to the new in-game related stuff before we end up with the predictions. It will be about the. Let me open the notifications in a moment. will be about the KCGT main tournament, which is pretty much the equivalent, quote unquote, of the
Of Worlds.
WCX. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Obviously, still online due to the situation that we are in. Yeah, we only have just the dates thus far, and pretty much Team Wars finals rather does not collude with anything important from the KCGT. So that is, I suppose, pretty good because we end up with one less week. But yeah, let's check out some of the details there. So the very first stage obviously is the preliminary tournament where every pleb, let's say, can play.
All the
Plebs like me,
potatoes.
all the potatoes that will
Yeah,
eventually remain there.
everyone can play.
Mm-hmm. And it's gonna take place 2 weeks, starting just at the end of this month. The very next one will be the main tournament, which is the main attraction, which will be taking place a month after the preliminary tournament, starting with July 17th in Japanese Standard Time. So it could be July 16th on Europe or EDT. And then once again, another month later, we will be having the very final stage with the 16, I believe, participants. Anything
Yeah.
else? Let's
Um,
see.
I'm excited to see what decks do good, but yeah, other than that, nothing too much.
Yeah, let's see
Mm.
if something new comes up, like the uh, SKC.
Oh yeah, every single KC thus far, I believe, since November, I think we've had like new decks or even older decks seeing
Yeah,
resurgence, like those
yeah,
Desperados.
usually something new comes up with Inkasi.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dark Lord Star Seraphs, if I'm not wrong.
Mm-hmm. I think we even saw
Yeah.
Water Exceeds pretty around the time of the KC. Here's the planned tournament schedule. So, just once again, the plan for this world's quote unquote WCS. And oh yeah, the prizes as well. I think yeah, the top three players who will finish first to third in the KCGT will win a trophy with the card Dark Magician in the extra secret rare rarity. So I believe yeah, that is IRL, and there will also be an in-game prize. Probably safe to say that it will also be a Dark Magician in that same art.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they did last KCGT with Blue Eyes.
Mm-hmm. That was a pretty cool art, the Legends of Blue Eyes one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. Actually, I did see the announcement, but I'm not sure which art it's called exactly. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure how it's called exactly. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's see. Yeah, these are details about the first stage. Second is just, yeah, once again, for the those who qualify, it's gonna be a 128 bracket. And then yeah, the best performing ones will be invited to the KCGT final stage, the main tournament. And yeah, I suppose that should be it with the KCGT stage discussion, and we can move on to our things related to Team Wars in the form of the playoffs. So we alluded earlier, or rather, we discussed earlier a bit about the match reports, and
Yeah.
yeah, that was for the round one. So SGL advancing, Switcheroo advancing, Tier Zero advancing, as well as SoundClan advancing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
now
I was
we will.
actually.
Okay, you
Oh,
can talk.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
No,
I
no, you
was
can
looking
talk.
at the bracket challenge everyone filled out, and not one person has got all four right, which is pretty interesting. Because last season, a lot of people actually got four right. There was like 3 or 4 people with a perfect bracket, but now there's no more perfect bracket. So I guess it just goes to show there's been more upsets this season, or a lot more closer games than people were expecting. That's all. Yeah.
Definitely, I could see that because probably a lot of people expected, for example, Supreme European Monarchs (SEM) to win against SGL, but SGL, as we've seen earlier, pulled a pretty good win. Okay, so
Yeah.
we should be having, we will be having in the quarterfinals the matchups of Rookies against Shadow Games Links, Duel Links Taiwan against Switcheroo, Abusement Park versus Tier Zero, as was last but not least Diffusion against Sunclan. So the first enumerated teams, Rookies, Duel Links Taiwan, Abusement Park, and Diffusion, thanks to the playoffs, thanks to their very good performance in the weeks 1 through 10, have been granted the bye week, thanks to the structure and the format that we use. So they already not just have that advantage, right, of starting in the quarterfinals, but also having the immediate advantage as to knowing what the opponent has done in the previous week in the round one, right? Because Rookies surely gonna be using the report against SCM that SGL had to make sure that they could have just that slight upper hand. Because that's the interesting thing about the quarterfinals, right? See,
Yeah.
see if the round one winners are actually
They
going
have
to
what it
move any
takes.
further.
Yeah, let's see if
Yeah.
they can keep winning.
Yeah, facing off versus the division champions. This definitely will be some exciting games, especially after seeing round one. I think the future rounds will only be more exciting, and see what kind of special text people are bringing and stuff.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
agree.
Yeah, I think this is actually, in my own personal opinion, the most interesting stage of the playoffs, save for grand finals, right? Because that is the default most exciting. Solely because of that, uh, is the number one team within the division going to deliver and actually do what it's expected of them, right, to advance further, or will the teams that did manage to win in the round one actually pull off the quote unquote upset?
Yeah, I mean everybody loves seeing good underdog stories, so let's have to see if the division's champions can hold their ground or if they'll end up falling. But a lot of good matches here. It's going to be tough to predict the winners for any of these.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
speaking of the
indeed.
matches, oh, you can talk, Mystic.
No, no, just agree with radlup.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that was the bracket there. We also happen to have the upcoming matches also done. So we will be seeing as soon as Saturday the very first match between Rookies and SGL at 9 a.m. Eastern or 10 p.m. Japanese Standard Time. And it's gonna be the only match on Saturday. So
Well,
uh,
we have a Saturday night match technically, but yeah, it is
yeah,
Sunday.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. That is
Yeah,
true. It's gonna be pretty
3
exciting
a.m.
to also
more.
see that one.
Yeah, kind of late for me to watch the 3 a.m. more, but yeah, it's a
3
nice
a.m.
one.
war. It's
Yeah,
funny.
You
It's funny
probably,
how 3 a.m. war has always been kind of like a meme in Team Wars, and it just kind of happened without anybody even thinking about it.
yes, you'll be sleeping, but you will definitely watch the VOD after.
Like I remember Bless RNG and like BZ always trying to schedule for 3 a.m.
I
Yeah,
believe Banana Rampage as well, right, Mystic? At times.
yeah, sometimes we schedule kind of late.
Yeah. But speaking of the 3M war, it's gonna be between two Asian teams. So at a pretty good time, just around the evening for them, 4 p.m. JST. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, the other matches, Abusement Park Tier 0, it's gonna be at 12 still on Sunday. And last but not least, Diffusion against SunClan, the very last one at 4 p.m. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see what every team brings to the table and this weekend. And I'm for sure gonna be there for all four.
Yeah, definitely plan on watching these. There's going to be fun matches. I'm looking forward to APK versus TZ. That's the most exciting for me, honestly. Just 'cause I know those teams, the people there, they have a
Yeah,
lot of history and stuff, so it should be very exciting.
I agree. As well, I'm looking for the Fusion Sun Club. But they're pretty good too, but I'm kind of excited for this one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually excited the most for rookies against SGL because it is still the very last remaining new team, and they're up against the titans of rookies, right? They always like end up finishing top four in the all teams graphic with the highest wins, and I believe this season they also did that because I believe they went 8-2 after a 2-2 start, by the way. So they managed to just win the very next six in a row. So it's gonna be interesting to see if SGL has got what it takes to actually take down rookies, or just rookies once again proving why they are a team to be feared.
Yeah, another good match to watch.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be really exciting. I'm looking forward to those. And then after that, we get semifinals, which are just gonna be even more exciting. The season has gone by really fast. I'm excited to see who wins this. Gonna be really close.
Yeah, yeah, I perfectly agree with the season actually going by very quickly, because we did start in late February and it's late May, and we are already in quarterfinals. So not even like week 10 or round one, straight into the quarterfinals. And once again, because of the KCGT schedule, we won't have any bye week before the finals. So it's gonna be quarterfinals, next week semis, next week grand finals. It's gonna be a lot of teamwork unpacked at every point within the weekend. But yeah, I believe that would actually conclude most of the topics that we um, would have been covering today. We can also talk just a slight bit about the new box, the new structure, the scale, and some other KCGT related goodies that we got. Um, Let me quickly open the links meta, check the new box.
Yeah, new box does seem to be exciting. I wonder if it'll influence the meta too much, or if not, because we know boxes. Honestly, a lot of times boxes really don't have as big of an impact as we wish, but every box is different. So
Right. Still looking for it, so give me one moment, everyone.
no problem.
Actually, kind of having a hard time trying to find it. It is on Reddit, but need to. It's a lot of posts there, and it's been a while since I opened Reddit.
Take your time. Take
Oops.
your time. I'm not even too sure what's in the new box, but I'm excited.
Also the wrong screen. My bad, guys. Yeah, finally window capture. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so it is mini box number 34, and basically most of the cards from within the box, I believe we have seen it previously because the post is around 3 days old by now, but
Yeah.
it brings a lot of support to older slash main character related archetypes in the form of junk slash warrior slash stardust, as well as resonators in most part, as well as mech lords. So a lot of 5Ds related stuff that actually also coincides with the 5Ds KCGT promotion, from which we got obviously Shooting Star, one of Yusei's cards. And yeah, let's go through them. So Red Nova Dragon, the boss of the resonators.
Yeah, lots of fun cards here. I'm excited to see how they get used.
Yeah, this box has some interesting things. In my opinion, they come kind of late.
Yeah, I feel like
But
that's always the problem with Konami. They always like add cool cards that like boost decks, but it's always too late and not enough.
yeah, I feel like this box some time ago would be really better than it will be now.
Yeah, definitely.
Feel like I almost feel that way about like every box nowadays. Like the new cards, they're cool, but they're just too late, and they're not
Yeah,
enough.
Yeah,
I feel like
that says
that.
a lot about the metagame.
Yeah, I mean that's classic Konami, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because for the SRs, once again, some older stuff like Armory Arm, another card that UC played a lot. But probably the only interesting SRs would be Resonator Call and Tuning, which are obviously 3-offs in their respective decks, because who doesn't like searching, right? So for
Yeah.
ours, a lot of mech lords, a lot of Morphtronics for any Morphtronic fan out there, especially in the TCG, because it is a pretty good rank 1 engine from what I heard nowadays. And
Yeah.
yeah, not much past that. I mean, they had to include Blackwing Armor Master in the box, so probably just the chase card of the set, right?
Hmm.
Have the Blackwing fans giving them the turn one that they need, quote unquote. You know, Reikiri, Chidori, Blackwing Armor Master. Doesn't matter against the Cyber Slash Harpy Lady.
Yeah.
and
Like so many cards, there's just not enough. But maybe they'll find use. But who knows?
yeah, let's see if someone can bring up something with these cards.
Mm. I'm probably most excited, honestly, about Catastor, solely because it's another like level 5 synchro from my auto duel 6 samurai deck, which says a lot about the box.
I think I would be excited only for the Blackwing card and maybe the Synchro cards as well. It's a bad deck in my opinion, but still really fun to play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Fun stuff, but it's just
Yeah,
not
Yeah,
enough.
they came kind of late.
Yeah.
definitely
Oh
very
well.
late. But yeah, as well, so that is the box, but we also have a structure deck, right, released just earlier in the day. Well, like around 15 or so hours ago, or even more, 18. The structure deck EX Stardust Nexus, which happens to contain EX in the name. Nice one, Konami.
Of course, they put the EX to get people to buy it.
Yeah, to farm some money.
All planned from the very beginning.
Yeah. Konami's a very small indie company. They need to make as much money as they can.
Exactly. So there we have the structure deck EX. I believe um, we have a couple new cards. For example, the Junk Converter, um, as a noteworthy card, right, from the UR or SR slot, as well as Formula Synchron and Alternative Art Stardust Dragon. These are probably the highlights of the structure deck for the new cards. And then you also have the goodies like Junk Synchron, Quick Draw Synchron, and even Junk Archer. It's a card that is quite fine. But yeah,
Yeah.
obviously the this particular structure deck is meant to be played alongside the very new released skill, which basically using a junk synchron or a converter or a tuning from the very new box, you can basically make the shooting star with one card. So how do we feel about that kind of nostalgic deck from USA's side, coming in and faring into this meta filled with a lot of harpies?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting, but unfortunately, like all the other, like the other bucks we talk about, I just don't know if it's gonna be enough to really kind of boost it to the level where it can be competitive. But it should be very fun, I think. I'm not sure.
I agree with Fellow. I don't think it's uh, good enough to be in a competitive, but it's still pretty fun deck to play.
Yeah, if it came just a bit earlier, like I don't know,
Yeah.
around the start of the year, perhaps even. But obviously, we had the Blue Eye stuff at the start of the year, which ended up making a very huge impact, right? As we all know.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Yes.
maybe sadly this time around, you say won't really get a lot of love, or even Jack for that matter, because he did also get a lot of support in the new box.
Mm.
But yeah, aside from that, like it's gonna be experimented with, even the new box or the structure, as they always do. But we will just have to wait and see if the meta will be kind to it or not. And I
Yes.
believe that we could also conclude this discussion about the. Well, we didn't talk much about the new scale, but I believe everyone has seen it and even has it in game. It's gonna be pretty exciting to see that being played with this deck in particular. Okay. Um, Seemingly, I don't think we have more to discuss because we didn't have the meta analysis, for example, for this week. Not like there weren't many matches to be played in the first place, but still, you can easily see which deck is pretty much the most played deck. For example, Harpies, especially since it was shraked by two separate people like Minato. Obviously, we cannot forget that 7-0 comeback, and Misaka as well, getting 4 wins with Harpies from the very beginning. Okay, do we have any question from the Twitch chat, perhaps, to ask either me, either Radlup, or either Mystic? We would be very happy to respond and get some interaction going with the chat. Hopefully, everyone has been enjoying this shorter episode of Team Wars Talks, because obviously playoffs cuts down on the time that a Team Wars Talks podcast can go. So from the usual 1 hour, 1 hour and 30, because there are 16 matches, it's only going to be only quarter of that with 4 matches, and
Yeah.
a lot of the attractions from the main season, such as the power rankings discussion, the meta analysis discussion, those are going to be rarer and going to be kept for a very final Team Wars Talks episode, right
Yeah.
before the grand finals.
Hmm. Should be exciting. I'm excited for it, honestly. Thank you guys all for watching with us today, even though it was a shorter one. Still was a fun one. Fun to
Yeah.
discuss the playoffs.
Still had fun.
Mm-hmm. Thank you once again, boys, for joining in. And before we close out, just want to remind about the sponsorship that Raid Shadow Legends is doing. Exclamation mark Raid in the chat. Click the referral link, install the game and the launcher that comes with it, and make sure to complete the tutorial for the reward to be distributed, not just to support Team Wars, but also to support your own account on Raid
Yeah.
with a lot of cool items. Personally, have been playing have been very much enjoying the game. And we actually do have one question before we close out. So Ubel1000 says, yes, I have a question. Do you believe this new deck can or will be the new meta, or will Harpies and Blue Eyes still be the best decks? So from my point of view, I would say that it needs a bit more to actually be competitive enough against decks like Harpies and Blue Eyes. Decks with quite a lot of targeting cards that happen to either destroy, banish, or return. So for destruction, well, you got that covered by Shooting Star's effect. But if a Cyber Slash is gonna be returning, it's not gonna be very beneficial for the Shooting Star Turbo player. Any thoughts with that, guys?
And well, from my opinion, I think this support that comes now is not enough. If it has came some time ago, like a year or even two, it would definitely be more relevant. Yeah, I think the matter will not change. We will still see harpies all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Harpies is still by far the best deck.
Yeah.
But yeah, teams recommended play for the fantasy league.
Hmm.
Fantasy league is interesting. Like everyone who usually picks the same people for fantasy league, but there's a lot of good options there. I feel like people like Chris. Everyone always picks Chris because they feel like he can streak, even though he didn't actually get a play in today's match. I don't think he played last week, but we'll have to see. Otherwise,
He did
for
actually
fantasy
play,
league.
but just
Oh, he did play. Yeah,
he just
Yeah.
closed out with one win.
yeah, he closed out. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
must have missed that.
just a game.
Mm-hmm.
But for fantasy league, now that we have the division champions there, there's new teams to choose from, unlike last week. So there's a lot of different options. You can try to pick Minato again if you believe he can streak,
Yeah,
or maybe
let's see if
Zemo if you believe in him too. But the thing is, now the opponent's teams are going to be prepared. Like Defusion, they're going to be prepared for Minato's Harpies. They're gonna learn from Sensei's mistakes, and they're gonna be ready. So just pick who you feel is best. Honestly, there's a lot of great clappers from all the teams around the place. It's really hard to predict. Just pick who you believe in, and hopefully it'll work out.
Mm-hmm. I think Redlab did say the best. Just believe in who you want, and maybe they will streak. Who knows? But
Yeah.
yeah, in my opinion, I would probably pick more from the division champions. Maybe study a bit their performance in the past few weeks, maybe because those are more recent. You don't know if a player that was pretty good in the very first weeks of Team Wars
Yeah, I
is
think.
active nowadays.
Yeah, you can go to the match reports channels and you can look at all the match reports post ban list, and you can see who's been winning the most, who have they been playing the most. Because a lot of times, even if a player wins a lot, if they only played him like 1 week, maybe he just doesn't have good availability, and maybe he just won't play in playoffs because he's just not free at the time. So a lot of times, you want to pick a player that the teams are comfortable playing like every single week, you know, something like that. Someone who's been performing well as well. And I think
Definitely.
that's the key to success.
Definitely, but there is also the other side of the coin, which some people have done previously, which is saving players from the main season that didn't really play much for the playoffs, and actually rely on them a lot to give their best and actually be the deciding factor. Because
Yeah.
yeah, because they didn't play
Yes.
much, there should be little to no info available about the player.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, that's all the advice I give for Fantasy League. Good luck. Hope your brackets work out as well. There's no more perfect brackets, but the best bracket still does win the prize. So hopefully all your other predictions are correct. Other than that, I don't really have much to say regarding fantasy.
Mm-hmm. I believe
Yeah.
that could conclude.
It's
Do we have anything else to say maybe before we close out?
Yeah.
No, that's it. Make
Yeah,
sure to
I
tune in
guess.
this weekend. All the games will be streamed on the main channel. How can you join Team Wars? Should have a command for that actually. You can join Discord there. You can look around, look at the looking for team channel if you want, or if you would like to make a team for next season. Announcements do go up for registration and application. You can always make that. There's plenty of ways to get involved in Team Wars. There's lots of different ways. So you can join the Discord, check around. Feel free to ask questions. We're always happy to answer them.
Yep.
Maybe you'll make a name for yourself in Team Wars. Could be exciting.
Definitely. So with that being said, thank you so much, Mystic and Relup, for joining in on this shorter episode of Timor's Talks, but just as enjoyable, not for us, but I believe for every viewer. Thank you once again, and that will conclude this episode. See you everyone around, and make sure to tune in for the playoffs matches. See ya.
See ya.